Thank you. Next to the highest court in the country, the Supreme Court, which in the last couple of minutes has ruled that the Christian owners of a bakery didn't discriminate against their customers by refusing to make a cake decorated with the words, "Support gay marriage." Here's the ruling.
The bakers did not refuse to fulfil his order because of his sexual orientation. They would have refused to make such a cake for any customer, irrespective of their sexual orientation. Their objection was to the message on the cake and not to the personal characteristics of Mr. Lee or of anyone else with whom he was associated. The message on the cake would not just be for the benefit of gay people, but also for the benefit of their families and friends and anyone else who recognises the social benefits which the commitment involved in gay marriage can bring. Accordingly, this court holds that there was no discrimination on the ground of sexual orientation of Mr. Lee or anyone else with whom he was associated.
Well, Emma Vardy is our correspondent at the Supreme Court now, so the reasons clearly laid out there. But it's still a surprise because the bakery had lost this case initially and their subsequent appeal.
That's right. It had been ruled on by a district judge, then by the Court of Appeal. And yeah, surprised today that the Supreme Court has overturned the judgments of the lower courts. And as you heard Lady Hale saying there, this amounted to whether the bakery's refusal to supply this cake was about discriminating against the customer or simply about their right, their freedom to hold these beliefs. And the Supreme Court ruled that they should not have been obliged to supply a cake containing a message with which they profoundly disagreed. But the court has pointed out that it is not about diminishing the need to protect gay rights or support people for their views, but this was about distinguishing between discriminating against a customer based on their own political or religious beliefs and about their own freedom of expression. And that's what that came down to today. Now, this case has been watched very closely by many gay rights activists. Several years ago, when it first emerged, this case led to hundreds of people out on the streets in Belfast protesting on both sides. So this has been a long-running battle. It was around 4 years ago that the customer, Gareth Lee, a gay rights activist, walked into Ash's Bakery in Belfast and ordered that cake, and then later was told by the bakery owners that they would not be happy to supply it to him. And yes, so the decision of the Supreme Court today is to uphold the appeal of the firm by saying that they have not discriminated against the customer by refusing to supply that cake.
And was Gareth Lee in court, the gay rights activist who brought the case and ordered the cake, and were the bakers in court? What reaction?
Yes, they're both here. They're both still inside. It's only happened in the last few minutes, but we're expecting them to come out and make a statement very shortly. But of course, it's been a long-running battle for them on both sides.
The cake initially was priced at £36.50. Do we know what the total legal bill now stands at?
That's right, yes, just a £36 cake. We're told the total legal bill now amounts to around £350,000. This case was backed by the Equality Commission for Human Rights in Northern Ireland, also backed by Christian charities on the other side. So, yeah, a long-running battle, legal fees which have totted up over that time. But activists believe this has been an important battle to fight. It's about the extent to which business owners can choose to offer their services to a customer based on their own political and religious beliefs. And this has brought that into sharp focus today.
Thanks for the moment, Emma. We'll be back with you as soon as gay rights activist Gareth Lee comes out of the Supreme Court, as soon as representatives of the Ash's Bakery come out of the Supreme Court as well. So the bakery has won.